What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is Sunday, February 26th, 2023. 9 games on the NBA schedule. A lot of NBA games being played today. No more NFL opens up the door for a lot of NBA action on Sundays. As always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. And I thought we'd start this video off by just quickly recapping some of our picks from yesterday. And it was a pretty rough day for us. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. We had Jaylen Brown hit on our points. We had Marcus Smart go under on his points. Those are two Celtic plays that I like. Embiid over on those assists, which I also liked. However, the blowout in Memphis really threw a wrench in a lot of picks for me. I had Jokic over points and rebounds in a few different slips, as well as KCP, and those guys didn't get it done. Just blowout, 30-point loss. That'll do it. That'll do it every single time. Another blowout in New Orleans, or excuse me, another blowout between the Pelicans and the Knicks. Brandon Ingram didn't come close to hitting his points or his fantasy score. The game that was really disappointing for me was the Orlando-Indiana game, because I had quite a bit of Markelle Fultz and Wendell Carter Jr. in my slips. I had both over fantasy points. I also did like the PRA and assist and all the individual stuff of Markelle Fultz, which he did end up hitting. But in terms of what I actually played in my slips, I played his fantasy points. Thought he had a good chance of hitting that, better than good chance of hitting that pace-up spot. Prior to the fourth quarter, he and Wendell Carter Jr. combined for, I think it was like 4 of 25 from the field. They had like a combined 6 turnovers and 5 personal fouls. It was terrible. Those two guys just really didn't come to play. Even though Markelle Fultz turned it on in the fourth quarter, ended up finishing the game with 18 points, I think. It just wasn't enough to get him close to that fantasy mark of 30. I think his fantasy point prop was 30.5. So good news is we get to live to play another day. We own our bad props, and we just move on. No excuses made, and we're ready to talk about today. And I got some first half player props for you, and I got some full game player props for you. So let's start off with first half. Let's talk about Cam Johnson over his points. Let's talk about Grayson Allen over his first half points. And then let's talk about Domantas Sabonis over his first half points. I like the more on all three of these guys. Cam Johnson and Grayson Allen, believe it or not, are very similar scores in terms of how they produce, right? Both guys can shoot lights out from behind the arc. Both guys are not afraid of shooting the three. And for Grayson Allen specifically, he is in a good spot, much like he's been the last 2 games without Giannis in the lineup. I don't think we see Giannis in this game. I think it best suits the Bucks if they just hold him out for a few games and let him properly recover. So without Giannis in the lineup these past 2 games, Grayson Allen has hit 8 and 9 points in those 2 games. He's actually been playing roughly around the same first half minutes, but the opportunities are better for him without Giannis on the floor. So he's not seeing an increase in playing time, but he is seeing an increase in opportunity, which is really evident by his shots here. So 2, 4, and then boom, 6 and 6 field goal attempts. In terms of 3-point shots made, goes from attempting 2 in these 2 games to 5 and 4 in his last 2 games. 5.5 points for Grayson Allen is simply 2 3-pointers made, and he can do that for us. So that honestly feels like a very strong play to me. Cam Johnson in Brooklyn is in a good spot versus the Atlanta Hawks. This game is not, it doesn't look like it's going to get out of hand. It's only a 3-point spread. Hopefully this game stays close, but we're not playing full game prop on Cam Johnson. We're only playing his first half prop, and his 6.5 points is basically 2 3-pointers and a free throw, or 3 3-pointers, however he wants to get it done. But he's done this in 6 straight games. He's done this in Phoenix, and he's done this in Brooklyn. So he's done this in 6 straight games. And in terms of his minutes played, okay, we can see that His first half minutes are about the same, 13 to 14 in the first half. His shots have gone up last 2 games. So big difference in what he's actually seeing in Brooklyn compared to Phoenix. And then in terms of his 3-point attempts, those have gone up as well. So very similar situations for Cam Johnson and Grayson Allen. I like the over on both of these dudes. And then the last play, like that over on 9.5 points for Domantas Sabonis. Heading on over to props.cash, we can see that Domantas Sabonis has hit 9.5 or over. There's no way to hit 9.5 points. You got to hit at least 10. He has hit 10 plus points in 7 straight games. And he's done this even with games where he was in foul trouble in the first half. Like, you pick up two fouls in the first half, 3 fouls in the first half, 4 fouls in the first half. For a lot of players, that's it. They're done. They're sitting on the bench. But the staff trusts Sabonis. They keep him out there, or they bring him back out there. And that's a great sign. So even with foul trouble, Sabonis is going to be on the floor. He is going to take shots. He is going to get to the free throw line a few times. And everything points points upward for this prop. So give me the over on Sabonis's points, and those are going to be our 3 first half props for today's slate. Let's head on over and talk about some full game props, starting with rebounds and assists. The first rebounds and assist prop I want to talk about is Anthony Davis over 13.5 points. Over the last 10 games, Davis has hit this 7 out of the last 10 and 4 out of his last 5. Anthony Davis, even when he doesn't have a productive night from the field, versus the Golden State Warriors, where he only put up 12 points in the entire game, and 10 of those were scored in the first half. He's active. He is producing. He's back to looking like the old AD. So let's take advantage of this one more game, one more time. Let's keep looking at his opportunities as one game at a time, because of his just injury history. I'm always so scared when he takes the floor, because any little tweak, anytime I see him grimace, I'm like holding my breath, because it's like, what happened, and it's like a hangnail or something. But maybe he's just a little dramatic in how he reacts to his injuries. But if he's good to go and he's on the floor, man, 13.5 honestly sounds very low. So give me the over on Anthony Davis, over 13.5 rebounds and assists. I like Jrue Holiday over 12.5 rebounds and assists. So very similar to the position that Grayson Allen's in. Without Giannis on the floor, Jrue Holiday, you would think he's going to be called on to do more scoring, which, yes, he probably will. But I just feel like he's going to have to do a little bit more of everything. And so when I look at his rebounds and assists, you look at his game log, and, it doesn't look great. 4 out of his last 10. If we take Giannis out, I don't know if that's going to move the needle all that much. Oh, it does. Look at that. So 5 out of his last 7 games. 6 out of his last 7 games, he's gone over this rebound and assist line. And we're only going to look at these games as a sample size, because this is from the prior season. But yeah, this is why I like him tonight, and I know it's against the Phoenix Suns, who are pretty good team. However, opportunity presents itself when it presents itself, and without Giannis on the floor, that usage, that production has to go somewhere, and Jrue Holiday should see his fair share of opportunities to rack up assists and grab rebounds. So I like the over on Jrue Holiday, 12.5 rebounds and assists. And then the last rebounds and assist prop that I like, I made a little boo-boo with this one, and it's too late to correct it, but I like the under on Damian Lillard, 14.5 rebounds and assists. And in one of my power plays, I went under. And then in one of my flex plays today, I went over. And I'm definitely not trying to leverage this out in case one hits, in case he has a good game. I really do like the under on this. I just submitted it too quickly without paying attention to it. So the reason I like the under on these rebounds and assists for Damian Lillard is because he doesn't typically give you high numbers in those two categories combined. Now we all know Damian Lillard is going to go out there and score, and he should have a great game versus this Houston defense. He should give you 30 plus points, 35 points, close to 40. When you look at his PRA is set to like 50. He can definitely give you 40 points tonight and give you 12 rebounds and assists, and that gives him over 50.5 PRA. So it's possible for him to hit his PRA without exceeding 15 rebounds and assists. I mean, game against Washington, he hit this, but 2 games prior to that, he didn't. Damn, that game against Golden State Warriors, he had a great game with rebounds and assists. Then 3 games prior to that, nothing. Another good game against Memphis. And then 2 games, nothing. So I just like the odds here. I think this is in our favor to take the under. And I just saw that line. I thought it was a little too high for Dame, especially with Grant back in the lineup. Grant isn't known to be a strong rebounder, but he should definitely pull a few rebounds away from Dame, lessening his chances of exceeding this 14.5 rebounds and assist prop. All right, a few more props that I want to go over. Let's talk about a couple of PRA plays that I like. One's on the board, one is not on the board. I like the over on Zach LaVine, 33.5 PRA versus the Washington Wizards. He's done this twice versus this Wizards team this season. Over his last 10 games, he's given you 5 out of those 10 games with an over, and then out of his last 5 games, he's giving you 3 with an over. Middle of the road defense in Washington. This offense gets funneled through Zach LaVine down the stretch. I think that you see consistent games like we've been seeing these past couple of games from Zach LaVine. 40 against Brooklyn. That Milwaukee game was, I kind of think we saw that one coming because of this huge game versus Indiana, and then you don't really see a lot of guys hold that level of play the next day if it's on a back-to-back. So I expected a regression, but he's right back to doing Zach LaVine things. So I do like the over on his PRA tonight. And then our second PRA, not on the board as I mentioned, but man, I really like the under on on Josh Giddey's PRA, which Props.cash currently has this at a 33.5 PRA for Zach. Oh my gosh, I keep calling him Zach Giddey. Josh Giddey, 33.5 PRA. Shea's not playing in this game today. He's already been ruled out. You would think that without Shea in the lineup, that Josh Giddey would, step it up. That game against Phoenix, he didn't really show a whole lot. But even without Shea, or even with Shea in the lineup, he's really not giving you that production. The way I look at it is that there are certain teams that are built to have the next man step up and fill in admirably for the star player when they're out. But then there are teams where you don't have that next man up, or the next man up just isn't as good. And I don't think you can put that type of demand on Josh Giddey and expect him to go out there and do SGA things. I really don't. So I look at this and I say, without SGA in the lineup, Josh Giddey has given you this season one game where he's gone over 33.5 PRA, and in 3 games where he's fallen under. Versus Sacramento, he has not played Sacramento without SGA. His one game against Sacramento was back in January with SGA, and he gave you 30 PRA. One more player prop I want to talk about, Monty Morris. I like the over on his assist. Without Porzingis in the lineup, that offense is going to funnel through Beal and Kuzma. I think this opens up more assist opportunities for Monty Morris. I think he dishes out 5 assists today. No problem versus the Chicago Bulls defense. And like I mentioned earlier, or I don't know if I did mention this, it's a close game. It's a tight spread. And we shouldn't worry about a blowout in this game. But as long as this game is, close, I think you can see, those 30 plus minutes from Monty Morris in this game, and then you can see his assists get over 5, possibly 6 to 7 assists for Monty Morris today, versus the Chicago defense, who gives up a ton of assists versus opposing guards. So there you have it. Those are some player props for you, first half and full game props. In terms of what I'm actually running today, here's that mistake I made. I went over on Dame's rebounds and assists by mistake, and then I have him going under over here with Anthony Davis in a power play. So definitely did not do that on purpose. I don't like to play that game of going under and going over on one player prop. To me, that's a great way of breaking even, and I'm not trying to break even. I'm trying to get profit. So hopefully one of those works out for me. We'll see how it goes. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by the channel, checking this video out. Really appreciate the time you've taken to do so. Drop me a comment below. Let me know who your favorite props on the board are today. Also, let me know what you think about my looks and observations, my picks into tonight's 9-game NBA slate. And as always, thank you so much for all the support, the likes, the subs, the comments, and helping my little channel get a little bit bigger every single day. Until my next video, Chavez is